For many, investing in a computer is a family affair, and you want to make sure everyone's happy. So you look for a place that offers the dependable names you know, as well as all the peripherals, software, and games that you can't go home without. You look for friendly advice and a great low price to make it all possible. Nobody beats the Wiz. We'll help you bring tomorrow home.
I'm the best in the world.
What I'd like to have right now.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Because I will fight because I was cool.
Are you ready?
It doesn't matter!
Oh, I said, are you ready?
I'm a sexy beast, baby! I was up all night!
And I'm
Welcome, everybody, to the For Life podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Rockabashi, alongside
Mr. 300, Mr. Pint Size Sexy, 5'5" and staying alive, single, ready to mingle with a big dingle, and the winner of the 2017 Battle Arena Toshinden WWE 2K17 King of the Ring Tournament, Mr. Cheyenne Ortiz.
sponsored by,
The Wiz. Nobody beats The Wiz.
which is the name of this week's episode.
Thank you. I love that. That's great. The Jamel brothers of The Wiz will be very happy to hear that.
And they are sponsoring this podcast.
They are sponsoring this podcast.
If you go to
The Wiz.
nobodybeatsthewiz.com/4lifepodcast, you get a 50% discount. Anything in the
50%
store.
discount. Tremendous deals and offers, including For Life merchandise. And 10% off anything on Betamax. With that being said,
And
ladies
the
and
VHS collection of all our matches.
That's right. That's right. Which is selling rapidly. All right, let's get right into it. It was Superstar Shakeup this week for the WWE. We talked about this a little bit last week.
Yep.
It was time to shake things up again.
AKA
Lots
it's
of NXT
the draft,
call-ups
but not
and-
the draft yet.
Right. Lots of NXT call-ups last week and a few returns in between. This was the official quote-unquote draft.
Yeah.
Or shakeup. With that being said, we open up the show with John Cena and Nikki Bella. Instead, it was Miz and Maurice once again dressed up as them. I thought this was great. I thought it was a great swerve to have everybody think that Cena was actually going to be on the draft show, or shakeup show rather.
Get it right.
This was also the way of announcing Miz and Maurice to Monday Night Raw officially, even though it was not acknowledged until after the commercial break.
Yeah.
So Miz and Maurice do end up on Monday Night Raw until they were interrupted by the Intercontinental Champion, Dean Ambrose, who also is now on Monday Night Raw. Thoughts?
I think Ambrose, as far as his promos, it's like hit or miss with me, where there's times where I just groan and there's times where I do find him pretty funny. And I thought he was pretty funny this week as far as went along for a few minutes thinking that it was John and Nikki.
Why do you find yourself groaning at Ambrose promos? You've never said this before. I'm curious.
There's times, I don't know, there's times where he just comes across kind of forced or cheesy or just doesn't click.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, but there are times where, I'm talking smack a lot. Like, there's times where he kind of lets loose and he feels more comfortable, and there's times where I feel like it comes across forced.
Okay.
But I think that's the deal with, that's what a lot of the talent on.
Well, we've said that about many people.
Yeah, but I actually found them pretty funny.
No, I thought it was a great promo, home run, quick and easy. We then go to a backstage segment between Kurt Angle and Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn has some exchange with The Miz, who walks in, and Sami and Miz are going to work later on in the match. Later on in the night, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
We have New Day versus The Revival.
Wasn't on the
This
Hulu.
time it's... Huh?
Wasn't on the Hulu cut.
Oh, okay. It's New Day versus Revival. It's Big E and Xavier Woods taking on The Revival. They came out with an inflatable Kofi Kingston doll.
Mm-hmm.
Hilarious. to be honest with you, awesome match. As I go through this show, I'm going to say now, though, that this was match of the night.
And Hulu cut it out, those assholes. I know. I saw the shirts that they had. One of them was wearing we broke Kofi's ankle.
We broke Kofi's ankle, which I fought for.
And the other one was the ice cream cart, rest in peace.
Yeah, Big E gets shit canned to the outside, and then Woods gets the Shatter Machine in midair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great match.
I'm gonna go back on YouTube and check it out just because it wasn't on the Hulu version.
We got an exchange between Neville, Perkins, and Austin Aries.
Okay.
Basically, Neville is trying to give TJ that whole, you should be jealous because, they're giving Austin Aries all your opportunities. What happened to you? You're a blip now on the radar. You're barely even on the radar.
Yeah.
So he tried to start some dissension on the ranks.
So he's Neville's advocate.
Exactly. Neville's, I like that.
He said that. I think he said that on 205.
Okay. Hawkins is now the newest draft pick to Monday Night Raw, and then he gets hit with the biggest superstar shakeup of them all. My man, now the newest member of the Raw roster, The Big Show, came out and attacked Kurt Hawkins and hit him with that huge WMD. Your thoughts, Bosch?
First of all, Big Show's been on Raw, right?
What do you mean?
He's been on the Raw roster.
But he came out.
Remember, he had the match. He
came out as if he was a new.
No, he came out as
he was of the roster. So therefore,
welcoming him.
The newest member of Monday Night Raw.
No, he was welcoming him.
The Big Show.
He was welcoming him to Raw.
Big Show it's the Big Show.
Big Show and Braun had that match a couple weeks ago.
That was an interpromotional match, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't, asshole.
I thought it was. The Big Show headed to Raw.
You're fucking ribbing me because you pulled the same shit in the chat earlier in the week, and I explained it to you already.
What?
I already explained this shit to you, Cheyenne.
What?
Moving on.
Anyway, so as I just mentioned, that segment took place where the Big Show solidified himself on the Monday Night Raw roster. Still to come, following that segment. Cole will talk to Roman Reigns. Aries and Perkins. Perkins gets a distraction and rolls up Aries. It was pretty good. Lots of stiff shots. Mm-hmm. It was nice to see Perkins on Raw for the first time in a while, and that pains me to say because I really wasn't into Perkins after the tournament. Aries can't believe that Perkins is celebrating, but Perkins comes in and attacks Aries. The crowd was booing them. Booing him. The crowd really got behind the heel turn. Like, it really helped for Perkins to get some heat. Good. Your thoughts, or was this not on the Hulu version?
It wasn't on the Hulu version, but I did go back to check it out. I'm happy he got the reaction he was supposed to get.
Okay.
Considering a lot of the more recent heel turns have gotten cheers, it's nice to see a heel turn actually, because Neville's heel turn got "Thank you, Neville" chants. Ziggler's heel turn got "Thank you, Ziggler" chants. So it's refreshing to see a heel turn actually get heat for once. Yeah. So I was happy that he got that reaction.
Yeah, because Neville's reaction caught us all off guard.
Yeah, that was like the biggest pop he ever got. Same thing, Ziggler got the biggest pop he's gotten since winning the fucking belt.
Yeah. Rollins then comes out saying that, what a thrill it was to be at WrestleMania 33 after missing last year's WrestleMania, and that he and the fans slayed the king. And, showed the video of Second Man going through a table. Mm-hmm. And basically, he says, well, I'm not going to Smackdown, and if I'm going to go, a whole army better come out. So he drops the mic, he's ready to fight, and instead, Kurt Angle comes out, and they share yet another exchange of words similar to last week. Mm-hmm. And Angle makes it very clear that Stephanie wanted him to go, but instead he, fought for it and wanted to keep him on there. This back and forth of respect ends with a handshake until Samoa Joe comes from behind and takes out Rollins. Do you think, because I've heard this all week, but I haven't heard your opinion, and I heard it yesterday while I was with you, mind you.
Yeah.
Do you really think that Angle got like an itch while he was in there? Like, everybody is just saying that.
What happened?
I've heard it all week. everybody's saying that because Angle was involved in splitting the two of them up, that he had to have gotten the itch to get back in the ring. And Samoa Joe was in there, and the history. I think that's just people wanting the Angle comeback as opposed to fact. Your thoughts?
I got the itch to scratch my ass. I mean,
scratch away.
I mean, he's like, up until he got inducted, he was still pretty active on the indie scene, so he's still like pretty active in wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, he's only a month removed from a match.
I mean, it's only his second week. Like, let it build up.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's
I mean, the earliest I see him doing anything in ring would be SummerSlam.
That's the same thing as me.
And even
so
that's pretty soon.
They get exchanged. They get separated. Kevin Owens promo with Charlie Caruso. Then we have Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax. I thought it was a pretty good back and forth match. Lots of high spots. If I'm not mistaken, Charlotte almost got dropped on her head like twice in this match.
Yeah.
Nia just showing her dominance, her power. Charlotte hits the moonsault to the outside. That was a big high spot.
That was a scary looking moonsault.
Scary. Well, I mean, it was all shin and shoulder, but it was pretty epic. Nia back in, counters to figure 4. Nia gets the splash, the Samoan drop, and the win. A lot of people said that was the changing of the guard. That Nia was now going to be the main heel on Monday Night Raw, which later on we'll find out. And some say that Nia was trying to hold back tears because Nia and Charlotte are like road wives. They travel with each other everywhere up until that point, obviously. Your thoughts?
I mean, I can definitely see that. I think seeing the way Charlotte lost, it was pretty obvious what was going to happen between that night and Tuesday night. But
yeah,
I mean, she's also really close with Alexa. Nia is really close with Alexa, so I know they're happy to be reunited. So I can see them not just traveling together, but I also could. I mean, later on, I could see them working together.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of people were throwing out her being Sasha's bodyguard, but I'd rather see her as Alexa's bodyguard, to be honest.
I'd rather see her doing her own thing instead of being the heavy.
Yeah.
Especially since I saw that was how she was introduced on NXT. So
I could see her and Alexa. Well, I could see her and Alexa working together. Maybe not a bodyguard, but just as a team. But then Alexa's always using her to hide behind, and then eventually, kind of like the way she was using Mickey on Smackdown, but eventually Nia will get tired of her, and maybe that can be her face turn.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Okay. Next one up was, I think that's the Balor. Yeah, Balor versus Jinder Mahal. Finn Balor comes out to
in an MMA fight.
Yeah, that was pretty much all stiff shots, and it allowed even Balor to have a concussion, which I'm going to make a huge point on in a minute. Balor gets a concussion. He's pulled off of the live events for the weekend. Balor stands tall, lights go out, and Bray Wyatt appears on the screen, revealing that he is the newest member of the Monday Night Raw roster. So now, as of right now, we know that we have Dean Ambrose, The Miz and Maurice, and The Big Show all joining Monday Night Raw as of right now. And Kurt Hawkins, yes. Joining Monday Night Raw, along with Bray Wyatt. Your thoughts on Bray Wyatt?
That one caught me off guard.
It did. It caught me off guard too.
Because I feel like of all the people that were brought over from SmackDown, he was the one guy in like a pretty active angle on SmackDown. Because I feel like Miz and Cena was pretty much wrapped up. Alexa and Mickey kind of brought their feud over to SmackDown.
Right.
Ambrose and Corbin, they could have had another match in them because Corbin won that street fight, the non-title street fight.
Yeah.
But that one caught me off guard, especially because he had the title match coming up. But I guess they were probably going for that swerve where you weren't expecting Bray to come over if he had the title shot. But he also announced that the House of Horrors match would be at the next pay-per-view, at the Payback.
which I thought was cool to have a
for
bit
the
of an
title.
interpromotional aspect, if you will.
Yeah, for the title. I mean, it's pretty crazy that Mania didn't even have any interpromotional matches, with the exception of the Battle Royal, but...
Right. Well, this is all technicality, really, because of the fact that everybody's switching around.
Yeah, so, I mean, maybe this is also to maybe find a way to keep Brock off the show and get away with not having Brock defending on this show, so we'll have Orton and Wyatt face each other.
Well, hold on. We don't know if Brock's going to defend or not. We don't know that yet.
I mean...
It's a safe assumption that because we're going to have the SmackDown title on the quote-unquote Raw pay-per-view, that would in theory be the main, because then the idea is, well, Bray Wyatt can go to SmackDown.
Brock is in the spots for the show.
Go to Raw with the SmackDown. Right, like Lesnar's advertised, which is why I feel like he's in some form.
I mean, maybe they saw this as a way out of like, all right, well, we can keep him off this one, then the SmackDown one will have a SmackDown title match again. And then we can keep him off until the following Raw pay-per-view, which would be in June.
Okay.
And have him and Braun at that one.
Right, which him and Braun is pretty much inevitable to get to the.
Because I feel like after the angle that was shot this week, it looks like it's going to be Braun and Roman at the next pay-per-view. Right.
Which, speaking of which, we saw Sami Zayn take on The Miz in a back-and-forth contest. Sami Zayn got a win over The Miz. A lot of people surprised about this. Any quick thoughts before we go into the moment of the night?
I was pretty shocked because Miz was so hot on SmackDown for him to come in and lose to Sami right away. I was kind of taken off guard by. I mean, I'm happy Sami got a win, but as the underdog, I felt like for somebody, especially a character like The Miz, I think it should have been a while. Like maybe they could have built that feud, Sami was going to SmackDown, but
right.
I found it weird that they would just have Sami win on the way out, and it was odd. Especially
it caught me off guard. You got a lot more analytical with it, and I see it from your point. Actually, I was just generally caught off guard because I'm used to Sami always losing.
Well, especially because
and then Miz's first show in the Raw, he's the hottest heel on SmackDown.
Yeah, and Miz is always cheating to win.
It didn't affect him. It didn't affect him losing, but
yeah.
Then we have the Michael Cole Roman Reigns sit-down interview. Roman Reigns talks about how he had to beat The Undertaker and it's his yard now. And pretty much from that point on, Braun Strowman came in and assaulted, brutalized, battered, raped Roman Reigns. He threw him over one of those production crates.
No, when he first launched him, like, fucking...
Yeah, over the production crate into the table.
That was ridiculous. For a guy Roman
size?
That
was ridiculous. Yeah.
Like, that might have been one of the more impressive spots in that whole beatdown.
And that's where I thought it was going to end.
Nope.
Exactly. So...
I'm not done with you yet.
Up, and then, please play that on, get that on today's episode.
All right.
Now, hold on, let me just make sure I get it straight. Braun destroys Roman Reigns referee.
He gives him a power slam on that metal crate. Then
no, right. So the thank you Strowman chants are breaking out, right?
Yeah.
Now he gets power slammed on one of those platform crates, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, on top of that...
He rams it into his face.
Rams a crate directly into his face. He's getting the stretcher job, okay?
And that's it.
Getting the stretcher job, getting strapped into an ambulance, and he's not done yet. He takes Roman Reigns and launches him off the parking lot platform onto the parking lot while strapped on to a stretcher.
But wait, that's not all.
But wait, there's more. while Roman is being loaded into the ambulance, he scares all the EMTs, paramedics, and drivers away and tips the ambulance over to its side.
Oh, man.
Me saying it doesn't do it justice.
It doesn't.
If it wasn't for copyright issues, I would have Bosch play the entire clip for you. But if you have not seen this gem, please make it your business to do so.
I mean...
And then watch it again.
Like, we couldn't even get through that without laughing. I think...
I was tripping, man, when I saw that shit.
Was the point of this to get sympathy on Roman?
I really don't know what the point of it was.
I mean, because it came across just comical. I think, had he done the first beatdown without the launching of the stretcher and the ambulance, and I mean, although those were the two funniest parts, but I think had he done just the original beatdown and he just taken away, then you probably could have gotten some sympathy. I mean, they still would have chanted "Thank you, Strowman," but I think that would have accomplished what they needed to accomplish.
Yeah, but that was gonna happen.
I mean, the vision. I mean, I'm glad we got those ridiculous vision, like the whole stretcher off the ledge. I mean, it was obvious that it was staged. It wasn't. There's no way that Roman...
That was really Roman, okay?
Did you sign the petition to have Braun fired?
No, and I want to talk about that, but I did not. I did not sign the petition.
I did sign the petition for fun, and then I got an email later in the week pretty much telling people to stop signing it because the person that started it as a joke was trying to shut it down, and there were so many signatures that she couldn't shut it down.
Are you serious?
I did get that email.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
But
I can't.
It was definitely entertaining. I mean, I think it was posted in the group Taz's comments where he thought that doing this was kind of a slap in the face to Taker. But
why was that? Hold on, wait. Explain that logic.
I guess because Roman beat Taker and then Roman just got destroyed by Braun, so it was kind of he saw it as kind of just like shitting on Roman beating Taker, and I don't think that's the case. I think if anything, 2 stars are being made out of it because he had to go through all these measures just to destroy the guy that beat Taker.
Yeah, I don't see why Taz.
It wasn't like he gave him like. It wasn't like when Goldberg beat Brock in seconds, where like it wasn't like they had a match and Braun like clotheslined him and pinned him. Like it was this guy. He had to destroy him and launch a stretcher off a ledge and flip over a fucking ambulance.
First of all, Braun Strowman killed Roman Reigns. Let's get some shit straight right now. Okay.
Okay. Do you think Roman will be at Raw tomorrow night?
Well, okay. Now I'm glad you brought that up. Here's the shit that I didn't like. Finn Balor got pulled off the live event. Okay.
For a fucking forearm. Yeah.
Roman Reigns passed away on live television, and he was on the house show this weekend, as far as I know.
Okay.
So, the logic here, kids, where is it?
I mean...
You know what I'm saying?
Do you see them keeping Roman off TV at least maybe until the pay-per-view? And when the hell is the pay-per-view? In 2 weeks?
Yeah, tomorrow will be 2 weeks. Next week will be the go-home.
Okay. So maybe announce the match, or... I mean... If Jericho was out for a few weeks, like how many weeks was Jericho out after Owens destroyed him?
2?
Two or 3 maybe?
Yeah, 3 tops, because he came back on a pay-per-view, so maybe 3.
And this was, like, realistically, like, he should be out till, like, SummerSlam after this beating.
Absolutely, Roman Reigns, yeah.
I mean, and I don't see them taking him off the road. Obviously, you said he was on the house shows.
Well, I can I in terms of revenue, I can understand.
Because if this was a way to get him out and like, then you can do Braun and Brock at the pay-per-view. At least maybe get like 2 pay-per-views out of it, and then Roman comes back and they face each other at SummerSlam. So then this further delays Brock and Roman, because it's like, if they've already thrown it out there, there's no way that you can have Roman beat Taker and then he just, doesn't get a title shot for a year?
Yeah, I mean...
Especially that the rumor already is out there that they want to do this match. So I feel like anytime that there's a rumor of a Mania match and it starts building and going into kind of like all the matches that were rumored this year, they all ended up happening. And like I feel like they're going to, once they see the writing on the wall that this match is actually going to happen, and I go, when Roman wins the Rumble or whatever the hell happens, people are going to start complaining anyway, regardless. But
yeah, the end game is pretty much, I'm not even going to say pretty much, the end game is out there.
Yeah.
That the WWE would like to do, Brock and
again, I stand by, why are people complaining if they had a good match the first time?
You don't think if they go again, they're not going to have a good match again?
I think they will. I'm saying people are complaining. People are already complaining because they don't want to see the match, but I mean, that was probably, I'd probably rank that as Brock's best match since his first match with Cena when he came back.
No, the Triple H Mania match was good.
That was decent. I mean, I enjoyed the Roman one
more. It was better than the SummerSlam one.
Yeah. I would
say that. And it was better than the cage match.
And I would say the Taker Hell in a Cell match was good.
Actually, not for nothing. Taker and Brock at SummerSlam that we were at was the best one.
But I think because
and the Hell in a Cell was good too.
I think because the finish was so shitty for the one that we were at, it kind of took away. Like that's the one thing I remember.
It was hokey. Yeah, it was hokey as fuck.
Especially not hearing the commentary. I know where we were sitting, we had no idea what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So I think that one, that stands out more in my mind. Even like, I mean, you were there for the Mania one as well.
Yes, I was there when the music died. Yes,
but he was also. He had a concussion, and so he wasn't in good shape for that match. And ours, it was just a shitty finish. And in the Hell in a Cell, I thought was the best one.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I don't remember much from the match just because the finish was so bad. Like if you ask me to remember anything, I just remember the one spot where they both sit up and start laughing.
Well, the match itself was very good overall.
It was better than the Mania one.
Then what? Then New Orleans?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I don't know. I think Brock has had more good matches since coming back than anybody likes to admit. That's just me.
Well, I think there's like the house show ones that kind of stand like the Kofi and Big Show and Harper where he just destroys guys, or like the Ambrose and.
Well, remember the house show ones. First of all, Brock Lesnar overall is an attraction.
No, I'm not taking that away. Yeah, I'm not sitting. I'm saying there are matches that I'm not sitting here complaining. I'm saying that there are matches he's had that have been good. I'm saying for the people complaining about him and Roman, I was just saying that they had a really good match and that I enjoyed. Because I think. Okay. I think
the Roman match we thought was going to be shit.
Well, look, the Rumble triple threat with Cena and Rollins. That might
phenomenal.
Have been, I think. I take it back. I think that might be his best match since being in the company, or returning to the company in 2012.
Yeah, that 3-way.
And I was there for that.
That was awesome.
I was there for that one.
Yeah.
I guess like they were shitty. Like the Orton one at SummerSlam was just him destroying Orton, and the Ambrose one wasn't good at Mania.
Yeah, that was.
I thought the Rollins one was decent, but I didn't. I mean, there was no chance of Rollins winning that one clean, so I think it was just not believable enough.
Oh, the one where Taker came back, right?
Yeah.
That one, yeah, that one I wasn't a fan of, only because I felt like it was like all suplexes. Like, they basically milked it until Taker came out.
Well, it kind of, I guess because they saw how hype everybody was after he did that match with Cena. So that just became his gimmick. Oh, I'm just fucking throw people around.
That's true. That is his first one after SummerSlam. You're right.
Yeah.
That's his freshest one. Because, right, at SummerSlam, he beat Cena.
Then I think he did the rematch.
Ambrose in the Lumberjack match. Yeah.
No, I think they did the rematch the following month when Rollins tried to cash in.
Right.
And then there was the triple threat, and then he defended it, and then he lost it at Mania in the Roman match to Rollins when he cashed in. And then he got suspended the next night, and then he came back and fought Rollins in July. And then that led to the Taker feud. I mean, I thought his match with Goldberg at Mania was better than the one at 20.
Oh, without question.
Yeah. Because they actually give a shit.
Yeah, night and day on that exchange, pal.
I mean, even Goldberg said it during his semi-retirement promo.
Oh, yeah, that was, without question, the best match that he'd had in what felt like ages.
Probably since WCW.
Yeah. Let's wrap up Raw before you cover SmackDown and before we hear our first commercial from our sponsors, The Wiz. Nobody beats The Wiz. Mm-hmm. Interesting. I think the 8-man tag is coming up. I'm just going. Yeah, it's
the tag team one.
Yeah, the Club and the Shining Stars against Cesaro, Sheamus, and the Hardys, which is interesting because Cesaro and Sheamus are the number one contenders, so they, worked as a unit in this one. The Hardys stand tall and get the stare down and the handshakes before their big match. Mm-hmm. Emma and Dana Brooke have an exchange. We then get Sasha coming out. We're expecting Bayley, but got Sasha Banks instead.
Okay.
So Banks teases a heel turn. Mm-hmm. And then out of nowhere comes Alexa Bliss to a huge pop. Mm-hmm. Huge pop, back and forth, great banter. Alexa Bliss held her own until Mickie James interrupted, and she's also joining the Raw.
Might I add, Mickie looked amazing.
Phenomenal.
I think this is the best she's looked since coming back to WWE.
And then Nia Jax came on and fucked them all up.
Nia Jax destroyed Mickie.
Yeah, so
she fucked them all up except Alexa.
Yes, that's true. Then they did Owens and Ambrose in a champion versus champion type of matchup, which saw Ambrose get the victory. Jericho came out, gets the code breaker, and Jericho stands tall to end Monday Night Raw. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a pretty good Raw.
Yeah.
Pretty good. No hits, no misses. Mm-hmm. And we're now going to take you to Ron Bosch to cover SmackDown.
You did not just fucking throw my whole name out there, asshole.
I'm sorry, you can edit that part out.
Don't miss the sensational Sharp home entertainment sale at the Wiz. Every Sharp VCR, rack system, portable microwave, and TV is on sale during the sharpest Columbus Week sale ever. Nobody beats the Wiz on this Sharp VHS VCR with wireless remote unreal at $288. On the Sharp high-tech 19-inch color TV with remote unstoppable at $299. On the Sharp AM/FM cassette breakaway, unbelievable at $47.
Nobody beats the Wiz. Nobody beats the Wiz.
The Sharp Columbus Week sale now at all 11 Wiz stores.
Hey, 4Life listeners, this is The Cap here with Mike the Finance Guy and Ralph the Tech, inviting you to check out our Geektastic podcast, Meanwhile 22 Pages Later.
So if you're a Whovian, a lover of capes and tights, a gamer, or a TV movie watcher, and you want some very honest reviews from some very funny guys,
check out our podcast. It's on iTunes and also on SoundCloud. And if you want to join in the discussion, check out our Facebook page. Oh, and by the way, that 22 is the number.
Now, back to Bosch and Cheyenne.
Technical difficulties. All right. Kevin Owens opens the show, comes out in a suit, shaved his beard. New look for him. I think it looks better for him. Doesn't have like that crazy scraggly beard.
Okay.
He says he's here to be the new face of America, which I think is a great slogan.
Totally agree.
Then Baron Corbin comes out. He pretty much says, well, I beat Ambrose last week, and Ambrose beat you last night, so that pretty much means I can beat you. And then Sami Zayn comes out as the second newest member of the SmackDown roster. And Owens is in shock. I think this is just an ongoing rib where they're just going to keep these two guys together forever.
Yeah, clearly.
Then he says he's finally on SmackDown Live. Then AJ Styles comes out. And Daniel Bryan comes out and announces a number one contenders triple threat match. This would take place after Payback because the Jericho-Owens match for the U.S. title is still happening. And the winner, whoever walks out as U.S. champion, will bring the U.S. title to SmackDown. And I guess the loser goes to Raw. So if Jericho were to... I don't know if the loser goes to Raw, but if Jericho were to win, he would come to SmackDown with the belt.
Interesting.
So, I mean, I don't know if that would mean that if Owens loses, he gets sent back to Raw.
Yeah, that was the part that I got lost on.
Wasn't clear on, yeah. The Usos defend the SmackDown tag titles against American Alpha.
Or the Smack Team, whatever you like.
Yeah. Randy Orton defeated Eric Rowan by DQ. The Usos defeated American Alpha, what I thought was a pretty good match. I mean, they always have good matches, but I think we need some new teams to mix it up in there. After the match, Primo and Epico show up, and they're the newest team on SmackDown.
That's right.
Attacking the American Alpha. I thought they looked pretty good. It's probably gonna last a few weeks. They'll win a few matches. Next up is Mojo Rawley versus Jinder Mahal. So Jinder Mahal is now on SmackDown Live. I guess to keep it even, they traded him with the jobber they brought in for the other roster, which was Kurt Hawkins. So the two returning jobbers swapped places.
Can you really say that they're jobbers, sir? Aren't they enhancement talent?
Yeah, sure, if you want to be politically correct about it.
Oh, hold on, we forgot something. We also
forgot
another
videos on YouTube.
We also forgot that Rhino and Slater went to Raw.
Yeah, Apollo Crews went to Raw.
Byron Saxton and David Owens and Apollo Crews to Raw as well as Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we forgot that. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, Rollins and Seth is on the YouTube. All right. So, and then Gronk is in the crowd because they're in Boston. So we get another Gronkowski interference. Now he throws the beer in Jinder's face. And Mojo gets the win. I thought the most impressive spot was Mojo fucking... Did you see SmackDown where he hopped over the railing into the crowd, into Gronk and all his boys?
No, I wanted to see SmackDown this week.
Like he legit leaped and cleared the whole barricade, and it was pretty impressive. Probably the most impressive thing I've seen Mojo do in his time.
Okay.
Shane addresses the SmackDown Women's Division next. He brings out the entire roster of 4 women. Natty, Carmella with Ellsworth, the champion Naomi, and Becky Lynch.
Okay.
And they all talk shit about each other. Then Shane says the newest member of the SmackDown roster is a second-generation star.
Right, big build-up here.
Her father is a Hall of Famer. What other build-up? So he kept building her up, and it's looking like it's going to be Charlotte, and it ends up being Tamina, which I thought was great, a great tease. And then Charlotte does come out afterwards. Sin Cara and Rusev are announced as being part of the SmackDown roster, as well as Lana. So it looks like Lana's...
I think Rusev is going to flourish over there.
Yeah. And I think it looks like they're going to bring Lana up as her own character, not just as Rusev with Lana.
Yeah.
Because they give her her own little video.
Lana's now part of the cabaret.
Yeah. Next we had Aiden English in the ring. Simon Gotch was released last week, so he's going back to his singing gimmick from NXT. I mean, talk about... I mean, it's a good thing he had this gimmick prior to the vaudeville, and so he can have that to fall back on.
Yeah, he sang, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ty Dillinger came out and interrupted him, and Ty Dillinger picks up the win. The video package for Lana, Dolph Ziggler is in the ring. Pretty much saying he's going to stay on SmackDown, and then Nakamura comes out. The two have a face-off. He goes to kick Nakamura. Nakamura pushes him over. So it looks like they're building up to that match. Next, they announced that New Day is coming to SmackDown Live, which should be good.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And there's Sokka holding him off until Kofi's ready.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I think it's good, but I think they said it wasn't going to be too long, like a few weeks.
Yeah, just several weeks. I would imagine 4 to 8, 4 to 6.
Yeah, give it time. If anything, I feel like they've been overexposed for a while now, where they're kind of losing their edge.
Right.
So, I mean, I wouldn't. If you give them a little bit of time off, then people are going to want to see them come back, and then when they do come back, people will be happy to see them back, rather than if they just throw them out there right away.
Yeah.
Triple threat match for the number one contender for the U.S. title, and AJ picks up the win. So, pretty good match. And on
yeah, I like the triple threat. I actually caught the tail end of that.
All right.
I thought it was a pretty cool finish. I thought it was cool to see, AJ out there again.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty cool. I just think that AJ is going to be a Grand Slam champion by the time his WWE tenure is over.
Oh, yeah, I can definitely see that happening.
I could see that, and pretty much if they're putting him in that U.S. picture, already, then that's pretty much a guarantee.
All right.
I feel. So, that's just me.
Definitely.
That's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
Oh, I think you're right.
I appreciate that. And don't ever question me again. With that being said, you know what else I think is right?
What?
I think that the only way to be right is whenever you need any of your design needs, like if you need a logo, let's say, it's always good to have a new logo, right, Bosch?
Definitely.
I agree. If you ever need a new logo, well, why don't you go over to our good friend Kayfabe Cover Kingdom, a.k.a. my West Coast bestie. He'll get everything you need, whether you need a new logo for your website. If you're a wrestler, you need a logo for your T-shirts or for your gear, he's got you covered. He even does T-shirts. He does it all, whatever you need. Graphics, layouts, Kayfabe Cover Kingdom, the place to be. Follow him on Instagram right now. That's Kayfabe_cover_kingdom.
Perfect.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I try. I try. Now, what would you like to do, sir? Would you like to talk about the flashback pay-per-view? Are we there yet?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Why not? It's a dead week. Why the fuck not? No major news. Okay, so we took a poll, and we decided that we want to switch things up around here. We're going to review some old school pay-per-views going forward.
Mm-hmm.
And we did a couple separate polls. The year 1997 seemed to be pretty popular, with an eclectic list of requests. And basically, even though the sentimental favorite was ECW Barely Legal, because it's the 20-year anniversary this week of the first ever ECW pay-per-view, which in true reality we should have reviewed, but I'm glad we didn't, because so many people reviewed it and went back, like including the ECW guys who were originally on the roster. So I think it's good that this poll, quote-unquote, won. Overall, we're going to be covering In Your House, Revenge of the Taker, from 1997 in Rochester, New York, in a very small venue, but looks great on TV, quite frankly. So I'll take the first few matches, if you don't mind.
Sure, I'll chime in.
So, Rochester, New York, I noticed right away, again, it's 20 years old, but even for that time, it's a bit of a small venue.
Well, I also
WWE
picked this
very
one
much running.
because, as you know, Sullivan's podcast reviews the Nitros and pay-per-views from 20 years ago in 97.
Yeah.
So I've been following along with those, but then a few months ago I decided to add WWE to that, so I've been following the Raws and pay-per-views for WWE. So I've been watching the Raws leading into this show.
Okay.
I mean, the go home for this one was a show that was like simulcast with their South African show. It was kind of weird, and there was no.
Yeah, I saw that for the Johannesburg show.
Yeah, and there was no commentary on that one, so it was kind of tough to watch.
Is that on the network, the Johannesburg show?
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm gonna go back and watch that tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it starts off with a great but quick opening video with Classy Freddie Blassie, who's doing, a lot of the voiceover work for the late 90s for the WWE, for the video packages and stuff.
Yeah.
All the way up until his death. When I saw the video, I thought it was really cool, even though it was very short. Couldn't have even been a minute.
Yeah.
And is it weird that when I saw the video, I thought about TNA?
Well, why?
Because I felt like watching that video, mind you, this is WWF in 1997.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to TNA, even the 2007 videos and their earlier ones, I felt like 10 years after that WWE video, that's the level of production that TNA was using to open up their shows.
Yeah.
Like, if you ever saw the Bound for Glory videos and all that stuff,
Uh-huh.
I felt like if you ever saw the opening videos for the TNA shows, they were much longer because that was their way of hyping up the crowd and the locker room live.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like production-wise, that video is where TNA was at 10 years later. What do you think?
I can see what you're talking about.
Yeah, it came to my mind. It was quick. It was awesome. Opening contest, your commentary team, by the way, is JR, Vince, and Lawler. Great opener. Opening contest is LOD as the challengers for the tag team titles against Owen and Bulldog. JR quickly puts over Owen and Bulldog as the greatest tag team of all time, having the tag titles 5 times between the two of them, including the two of them as a unit, Bulldog's tenure with the Bulldogs with Tom Billington, and of course when Owen and Yoko were a team. So at that time, pretty cool deal. Do you agree with that for 1997?
Definitely.
Okay, so do I. LD comes in, shoulder blocks are amazing, great leap. Hawk almost shoulder blocks himself outside the ring. That's how high he jumps.
Yeah.
Animal, I noticed, was like squatting.
Mm-hmm.
I guess because of the height difference between Owen and Bulldog, even though I felt like it made Animal look much, much smaller.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get over that for the rest of the matchup. Bulldog gets that signature vertical suplex. Owen gets great height on a double axe hand. I laughed because JR said on commentary that Bret, Owen, and Bulldog got to the arena early. And if you've ever heard wrestlers talk about Bret Hart and how he got to arenas, it was never early. So I laughed at that. And then Austin just arrived at the arena. Then out of nowhere, LOD wins. However, they did not pin the legal man. Another ref comes out, Dusty finishes it, and instead of reversing the decision, they restart the match, which is something that WWF took the Dusty finish and started over. Mm-hmm. I love how Owen and Bulldog didn't even realize. They played it off like, oh, man, we lost. And then they heard it was the illegal man. And Owen's like, yeah, that's right. So that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then Bret came out for a clear DQ decision. And it was like the most... Oh, Bret came out, and that's it. Like, LOD didn't do nothing at all.
Yeah.
I thought that was very, very, very strange. But Bret came out, helped them with a quick signature Bret elbow. I'm going to make a statement right now. I want to know if you back up with me.
Sure.
So, number one, quick side note, LOD hit Bulldog with the original LOD finish, the power slam from the top. Anyway, did you ever watch LOD matches, right, now as an adult?
Yeah.
This is 1997.
I've seen a lot of, I've been watching a lot of, the NWA stuff, so...
Yes, you have, for the last year or so. So this is why I'm bringing it up to you, because it's fresh in your mind, I feel. 97. LOD's wrestling, 12, 15 years already? Because 87, about 15 years already, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I always felt like when I watched their later work from 95, from that second WCW run, all the way to the end of their career, I felt like at this point is when they kind of got the finesse and the execution part, because they went through so many jobbers and were such a powerhouse team and were only meant to destroy, that they didn't have to worry about how they executed shit.
Yeah, actually, I did notice that in this match, as far as even Animal throwing the drop kicks and
Yes.
It was definitely a better worked match than the debacles I would see in the NWA matches. And
correct, because if you've seen Starcade, Shock 89, right?
Yeah, well, they were matched up against three big guy teams.
Yeah, but there's a lot of botches in the Samoan match and the Steiner's match too.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is about that's like 8 years later, but anyway.
But then they worked Japan.
Didn't they
work Japan for a while in between that break?
What year? Because remember, there's a timeline
between the early '90s stuff and their mid '90s stuff.
Well, remember when Hawk went to WCW to be a solo star, he tried to get that Japanese guy to be like the Power Warrior.
Yeah.
He had that for a while, and then in '94 when they went back, or '95, whatever it was. I mean, but I was like,
when they came back to WCW, they were working with guys like Harlem Heat and the Steiners and Luger Sting
and Luger.
Yeah. Nasty Boys.
Nasty Boys. Well, they had worked Nasties
in WWE
in '91.
Yeah.
But this is the first time they were doing hardcore stuff. Did they work Public Enemy?
I'm trying to remember if they worked Public Enemy or if they just missed each other.
I'm hoping they beat the shit out of High Voltage. But anyway, what I'm trying to
High Voltage just started recently on the episodes I'm watching, so they started like late '96, early '97.
Okay. So what I'm getting at here is like you see a difference when you've seen the career of them the whole time. The next match is Savio Vega versus Rocky Maivia. Rocky Maivia is this young rookie in 1997 that's, he becomes somebody. Rock's 6 months
Crazy to think, like, 20
20
years later, he's the biggest movie star in the world.
Pretty much. Rock is 6 months into his wrestling career at this point.
Yeah.
Well, his WWE career, rather. Very clean-cut Lady Luck promo, which is very weird 20 years later.
Well, considering how charismatic he is.
Yeah. He's talking fast, which means he's thinking as he talks, and he's trying not to
even in the new Fast and Furious movie, I think this was the first out of the franchise where he was showing hints of like Rock promos, and like a few of the times he was talking, like the jokes he was telling and the way he was talking, it did feel like I was watching The Rock at times.
Okay.
So it's just crazy to think. I watched this yesterday on the same day I saw fucking The Fate of the Furious, and to see like what a difference 20 years makes.
Yeah, especially with this with this matchup, that promo.
Yeah.
Back and forth action. Savio Vega is a Nation Domination, I guess you could say, sympathizer at this time. Nation Domination, I don't care what anybody says, very over at this time.
Yeah.
Kids are throwing the Black Panther fist up in the air. They came out with the rap group, with D-Lo, with Clarence Mason, with this guy, with that guy. Crush is out there also, the whole entourage. So the odds are stacked against Rocky Maivia, who also just got beat up in Johannesburg, South Africa.
Yes.
So it's a bit of a revenge.
He lost to Savio in a non-title match.
Right. Back and forth matchup. I thought Savio made Rock look great. Savio hits a real good power slam too at one point in the match.
Yeah.
Rock ends up on the outside. Crush comes in. Pearl Harbor job, hits the heart punch. Okay, and then Rock gets counted out.
Yeah.
So then this causes dissension in the ranks because Savio's like, "Hey man, you cost me the IC title." Farouk comes in with an injury, trying to kind of be the mediator. And then Ahmed Johnson comes out to make the save. Your thoughts?
I thought it was a pretty decent match. I guess, like you said, Savio made Rock look really good. And I guess it's watching this. I'm watching these as I go to line up with the timing. So I'm not sure when The Rock gets hurt and comes back and joins the Nation. But I guess I'm watching this now knowing that The Rock is going to end up in the group, so it was a little weird because I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, and when was the last time you ever saw a pay-per-view that had 5 matches only?
Well, this was a 2-hour pay-per-view because back then the In Your Houses were only 2 hours.
That's right. That's right.
Because I know even
tells you what I'm used to.
Even the Canadian Stampede only had like 3-4 matches.
Well, the first 3-hour pay-per-view that I remember is Ground Zero.
So that would be in September.
Yeah,
okay.
Of '97. Because and if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but WWF might have gone to 3 hours on pay-per-view before WCW, before Turner.
Well, I know their Big 4 were 3 hours, or the Big 5 at the time, because King of the Ring was one of them.
Right, correct.
And all the In Your Houses. Is it weird that I still think of any non-Big 4 pay-per-view, even 20 years later, I still think of them as In Your Houses?
Oh yeah.
Like to
and
me,
that's
like
kind of because remember, if you go back to '98,
because even like I feel like if it's like a Backlash or Payback or TLC or any of them, like they're In Your Houses to me.
No, the same. And then the even weirder thing is, if you go to '98, they kind of phased In Your House out, but still mentioned it was Unforgiven In Your House. Versus if it would have been the year prior, it would have been In Your House, Unforgiven.
I think St. Valentine's Day Massacre is the last one, right?
That I know of, the last one.
The last one labeled In Your House.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
I love how everybody says, "Oh, bring back In Your House," and I'm like, you just wanted to bring back a stage because it's just a pay-per-view.
I mean, considering all the stages they have now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how do you do a modern house set? You know.
I mean, now you would have like a fucking entire complex set up on the ramp.
Yeah, basically a Starbucks around the corner. You know.
But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember the timing of when they all split up and they do their own factions, and The Rock joins the Nation, and at some point in between, Ahmed joins the Nation, right?
Yeah.
Because I know that like
well, remember Ahmed joins to Swerve. That's the original Black Daniel Bryan Bray thing.
I mean, I'm just going off like what I remember. Like there's
well, remember Rock joins
because there's certain things that stand out to my mind to this day. Like of this show, if you ask me to like the one thing I remembered specifically from this show was Taker lighting Paul Bearer's face on fire.
Correct.
That would be like the one takeaway that I still remember 20 years later. So
let me see.
Like I know Rock. I remember Rock coming out, and I think it would have been Chains that he gave the rock bottom to. So that means that we were already in the DOA Boricua's phase.
Oh yeah, I remember him hitting it on the first time. No, I remember him hitting it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Road Warrior Animal.
When he joined the Nation?
Or Hawk, yeah, one of them.
I thought it was on one of the biker guys.
No, I think it might have been on LOD, and I'm going to grab my phone to double check that.
I'm going to check too. Let's see. The Rock joins the Nation. Thank you.
What the question is, the first rock bottom, right?
No, when he joins the Nation. I didn't say the first rock bottom.
Oh, when he first joins the Nation.
Yes. Yeah, it's Chains.
Let me see.
It's I'm watching it now. It's Chains.
It's on the WWE channel?
Yeah.
Funny how the title is The Rock Embraces
Destiny,
which is the name of his theme song.
Yeah, I just remember him wearing those shorts and the loafers. So at this point, who was with the Nation? Was it already D'Lo and Kama?
Oh!
Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening. He drilled him with that rock bottom. That might be the best one I've ever seen.
So who was with the Nation? Was that when it was, I guess, this Savio and Crush left? Started their own factions?
Remember, Savio and Crush got fired.
Okay.
So that means that D'Lo and what's his face?
Kama?
Yeah.
Alright, and then Henry eventually joined.
Oh, wait a minute, hold on. You said you saw Savio and Rock in South Africa, right?
Yeah.
You said you physically saw that match earlier, correct?
Yeah.
That's the first Rock Bottom.
Okay.
I just saw it right now. And then I guess the first one on pay-per-view is the one I mixed it up with right now, and it's Road Warrior. It's the Nation against LOD, and Rock hits it on Hawk.
Okay.
So,
but I was right that when he joins the Nation, it's on chains.
No, you got that one right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember the shorts and the loafers and the Rock Bottom.
Yeah.
It's those memories. I mean, those are those memories that stick with you 20 years later.
Then the next matchup is Jesse James, Double J.
Mm-hmm.
Comes out singing. Girls are singing this song left and right. What's My Baby Tonight?
Spend my days working hard on the go, but the hands on the clock keep spinning too slow.
Too slow. 'Cause I can't wait to be alone with my baby. Right. So
we did not do it as good as Bruce Pritchard.
No, we didn't. We didn't. But he does it all funny. I'm trying to get a Grammy. So anyway, Jesse James comes out singing the song. The gimmick's over as far as I'm concerned, at least with women.
It was over with me. I enjoyed it. I liked the song.
Then we get a video of the exchange between him and the Honky Tonk Man. Honky Tonk Man comes out ready for action. We believe that he's going to take on.
Well, also
Jesse James,
also there was one week where he offered it to Billy Gunn, and Billy Gunn punched him in the jaw, which was the week before.
And then the Honky Tonk Man announces his replacement for this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the artist formerly known as Billy Gunn. He's now Rockabilly.
Rockabilly's all I ever known. I don't think I've heard that song in 20 years since that event.
Same thing.
But I do remember this too. I didn't remember it being on this pay-per-view, but I do remember Rockabilly's debut as one of my childhood memories. Like I said when we were talking off the air, I guess the silver lining in all of this is that this eventually does lead to the formation of the New Age Outlaws, so there is something positive in this.
Yeah.
Because the two would end up working each other for a while, and I guess this does lead to them Billy Gunn turning...
Well, this match was super quick. I don't even think they got 6 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't even think they got 3.
Mm-hmm. But,
and then Road Dogg wins with a flash pin out of nowhere.
Yeah, so, I mean, like I said, it was a stupid gimmick, but it was the two shitty gimmicks that motivated them and pushed them to become the New Age Outlaws.
Right.
So I would say that, a lot of characters that we ended up loving did have shitty gimmicks when they started, so I guess...
Very true.
Look at the Ringmaster.
Yeah.
Rocky Maivia, but, I'm happy that we got the Outlaws out of this debacle.
Yep. Bosch, take it away for the two main events.
We had first earlier in the show, Stone Cold was attacked in the bathroom by Owen and Bulldog.
Did they soap his ass?
No, that would have been somebody else.
Okay.
So Gorilla Monsoon, president of the WWF at the time, announces that he switched the order of the matches and he's putting Brett and Austin on last. So we got Mankind and Taker first for the championship. Undertaker's defending. Undertaker won the belt at Mania. Coming out of Mania, they did a tease where Paul Bearer teased leaving Mankind and was trying to join forces with Taker again, but this was all a swerve.
That's right.
This was a swerve that led to Mankind attacking Taker. Eventually, he would end up burning Taker's face during a confrontation. So Taker hadn't been seen on TV for a few weeks.
Mankind even came out with the fire extinguisher. I did see that.
Yeah. They had a pretty physical match considering they spent a lot of the 1996 feuding with each other.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a great match. I remember that one spot where the mask... I think the mask coming off, I think this might have been the first, since I wasn't familiar with Cactus Jack prior to Mankind coming to WWE. I think this would have been the first time I saw Mick Foley without the Mankind mask as a kid.
Yeah, on WWE TV, probably.
Well, it was definitely the first time on WWE TV, and it was the first time for me because I wasn't familiar with his stuff. Well, I think I might have seen a tape of Starrcade 93. So then it would have been the first time on WWE TV, and I would have seen it at Starrcade 93.
Oh, I have that same tape. That's him and Max Payne against the Nasties, right?
Yeah, yep. So I was like, oh, I think this is Mankind. So there was that one spot, and Taker wins with the Tombstone. After the match, he lights Paul Bearer's face on fire, another moment I remember. I know eventually this is going to lead to Kane making his debut in about 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I thought it was a good match, and the main event was Austin and Brett coming off their match at Mania.
Yeah, they got much more time than I thought when I saw like the space between the blips. I was like, holy shit.
And how this match came about, it was originally scheduled to be Brett versus Sid. But,
correct.
But 2 weeks earlier, it was scheduled to be Sid versus Mankind, and I guess Sid didn't make it to the arena, so Gorilla Monsoon said he was looking for a replacement, and he asked Austin to do it. And he said, well, if you want me to save your show, then I want Sid's match with Brett at the next pay-per-view. So that was a deal made between Gorilla and Stone Cold.
Okay.
So, I mean, Stone Cold fought earlier in the opening match against Billy Gunn, right before he turned down Honky Tonk Man. So he came out and faced Mankind. So that was him saving the show for Gorilla and then asking for this match with Brett in return.
Okay.
And I thought they had a great match, and I mean, it would eventually, they did fight around the arena. It would eventually end in a DQ when the Hart Foundation came out.
Yeah, which I thought was strange.
Yeah, and I mean, also during this time, there was a lot of build-up in the Shawn-Brett feud, because even though Shawn was injured, Brett did attack him, put the figure four on the pole.
On the ring post, I remember that.
Yeah, Shawn cut a promo 2 weeks prior that was pretty much like a shoot promo, saying that Brett couldn't separate himself from the business because he was obsessed with the title, and when Brett went home, he was still Bret the Hitman Hart, and when Shawn went home, he was just Shawn, and it was a weird promo for that time, and I know they did say shit. He did say shit in the promo, and it got on the network. It wasn't censored out.
Okay.
But I know eventually it's Stone Cold and Shawn end up beating Owen and Bulldog for the tag titles.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought it was a pretty good show. I mean, when I saw the lineup going in, at least the 3 advertised matches were the title match, the tag titles, and the main event. And I know they didn't really tease Savio and Rocky, and all they mentioned was that Jesse James would take on Honky Tonk Man's protege. But I thought overall, pretty good show. It was a short pay-per-view, so it was easy to get through.
Yeah, very strange for me because when I was getting ready for it until I had all those technical difficulties.
Yeah.
I really, 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 really thought that it was 3 hours.
Yeah.
So until my network,
I did too, and I was like, wait, an hour 50? This is shorter than fucking Raw.
Yeah, so until my network, stopped acting up or whatever, until my network started acting up, I was thrilled. Mm-hmm. That it was only going to be so long, so that way I can cover it in its entirety. Mm-hmm. Very strange for me to see it at, at 2 hours with 5 matches and only 2 matches getting X amount of time. It was in a good way. I mean, all that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was cool. It was nice to go back to memory lane with that, if you will.
So I guess what I wanted to do with this whole reviewing old shows is discuss how we think the show would have gotten over in 2017 with today's audience.
Not at all.
I think the main event.
Certain aspects of it, yeah.
I think the main event would
have
gotten over in today's audience.
Totally agree, but you would not
I think the Taker
be able to put that on current television.
But I think the Taker Mankind match would have gotten over. Even
yes.
I think the 3 advertised matches would have gotten over. Even the tag title match, I think, would have.
I agree with those 3, but all
those characters.
Well, Rock Savio wasn't a bad match. It was just a hokey finish.
I think
hokey.
I think Rock's character would have gotten destroyed now. At that time. And Savio, I would rank it even worse than Roman.
Yeah.
And I think Savio wasn't that over as a heel, or at least even now wouldn't have been that big of a heel. So I think a lot of people would have been bored with this match because there wouldn't have been that investment. Even out of the nation, Savio wasn't the person that people were the most invested in. It would have been Farouk.
Okay.
Or even I think and I don't know how even Ahmed would have been received in today's WWE.
Well, Ahmed is a muscular. I can't even say muscular. Ahmed is like Apollo Crews, but Apollo has way more talent.
Yeah. So I think, Ahmed was over back then, but I don't think he would have been over today.
Yeah.
And I think the audience would have completely shit on the Rockabilly Jesse James.
Oh, without question.
Yeah. I think if anything, Honky Tonk Man would have been the most over of those 3. Just because he was a legend.
Pop of the night.
He would have got the legend pop.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree with that. It's a more than safe assumption on my end.
And
I think overall,
there was also the backstage segments with Pillman and Sonny doing the Superstar line.
Yeah, that was. I was like, are they fucking?
No, she wasn't on his list. He wasn't on her list.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Tammy. No, but I thought those were pretty good too. I think they probably would have shit on Sonny because she wasn't a wrestler, but
yeah, I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one too. Yeah, sure.
She's just hot. We don't like her. She can't work.
Yeah, of course. She would have been Eva Marie.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I tell you, on that show, she looks fine fine. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always, especially now that I'm watching all these shows of her from 20 years ago, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. Looks good.
You know.
You know.
You
know. Want to do what? You want to do what to my pee-pee? What? So, you know.
Oh, man.
But yeah, by today's stand, the way I see it is you really can't judge because it's night and day in terms of the times.
Yeah.
Those were the shows that got us accustomed to what we have now.
Mm-hmm.
That year is the year that, broke ground and gave us 3-hour pay-per-views, which we're going to have one in 2 weeks. It's just
we have 3-hour Raws now.
Yeah, that's a separate argument for a separate day, but, now we have 3-hour Raws. So.
Well, I think Nitro started that because it was 3-hour Nitros. Oh, God, I'm
Nitro started that, but WWE never picked up on it for a while.
Because for a few years, it was like a once-in-a-while thing.
Once-in-a-while thing, then the whole Raw Super Show gimmick came about.
Yeah. But it wasn't until... God, we're going on 5 years of 3-hour Raws.
Yeah.
2012.
Yeah, and then 3-hour Raws weren't the 3-hour Raws like some of the guest host ones and the McMahon $1 million ones.
Or like the Homecoming or the Anniversary.
Homecoming was a 3-hour Raw. 15th Anniversary was a 3-hour Raw. The 20th Anniversary was a 3-hour Raw.
Mm-hmm. 1,000.
1,000.
900.
That one. That's what I mean, yeah.
1,000 was when they became 3 hours.
Officially 3 hours.
Yeah.
And everybody hated it, supposedly.
Well, not Vince, because they're making an extra hour of advertising money.
Yeah, absolutely. That, that's tremendous revenue that the WWE has garnered.
And then they also have, I guess they have the partnership with Hulu where they cut it down half to half, and I guess the people that kind of like the people that bitch about having to watch it for 3 hours can watch it on Hulu the next morning for half the time. And I mean, I do it because I don't have cable and it's more convenient for me. But I mean, those episodes are usually up by like 7, 8 in the morning the next day.
Oh well, I mean, can't beat it.
Because even for a while they wouldn't be up until later in the day, but now they're up. Like I'm watching them as I'm getting ready for work.
Oh wow! So then, yeah, I mean, that's a huge asset for the fans.
So they're also making money off of that deal.
I've said many times that I'm super jaded and old school when it comes to certain things about wrestling.
Yeah.
If I miss Raw on Monday, I still believe that I can never see that Monday Night Raw ever again.
Mm-hmm.
It's now, and Bosch knows this, that I go and I watch.
Well, even
on
nowadays,
YouTube
even nowadays, it's even tougher because it's on social media and like you get notified and you can't even look through your page without seeing results. It's like maybe 20 years ago you could have gotten away with recording it and watching it the next morning.
Yeah.
Like on VHS, because you had no way of finding out the results if you didn't like go to WWF.com at the time or even pre-internet.
Well, now it's different because now I make it my business to go on YouTube the next day.
Well, even the YouTube clips are usually up during the show, so you can probably watch the best of.
In my case, I don't watch it again until the next day. Like if I miss the Monday Night Raw, I'm catching up in the morning when I'm going to work on YouTube, and I'll catch the Reader's Digest basically of Raw.
Pretty much. So it's the even shorter version of what I see.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like the match finishes and.
How long is the Hulu version again? 90 minutes.
Yep. And then I usually I'll listen to a review of Raw and they go over everything, so I'll end up hearing about what I missed. And then I'll
be surprised if I watch every single clip of YouTube from Monday Night Raw. From let's say if I miss tomorrow's Raw,
probably reaches a half hour, if anything.
Half hour to 45.
Yeah.
Because the opening segment sometimes gets its full length.
And they even cut those down. Like I remember watching the Festival of Friendship and they cut half of that shit down.
Yeah, so, I'll be surprised if I do 45.
Yeah.
On that, just watching. That's just how it is now. They make it so, and this is not a bad thing what I'm about to say, they just make it so accessible that it's like, oh, you missed Raw. Well, how the hell have you not seen that yet? When we started the show, you would live to come to the house and show me what I missed, and my reaction would be better than Raw itself for you. So,
but even then, like I guess even like the Braun Strowman thing, I had Frankie hitting me up like, "Oh my God, you missed the funniest shit I've ever seen on Raw," and I was like, "Okay, I know his personality, so I'm like, okay, it's got to be something fucking outrageous." And then 10 minutes later on Instagram, I see a picture of Braun Strowman flipping over an ambulance, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that was just, and screw everybody that tried to, like, dissect that segment and reveal what was and wasn't real.
But, I mean,
dude, grow the fuck up.
That's like saying, oh, I'm not going to watch movies or TV shows because they're not really fucking shooting or killing each other.
Yeah, like.
It's the same logic. Wait, they're not really shooting each other in the head? Fuck this fake shit.
If you went and spent $17 to go see Tom Cruise save the world for the millionth time,
I saw a bunch of fucking street racers end World War III yesterday in a fucking movie. It doesn't get fucking faker than that. Like,
yeah, I mean, seriously, it's totally ridiculous.
Wait, so they're not really in those cars and flying from the fucking sky? Oh, fuck
no, they're
this.
not actually. Yeah, I mean, I'll never be able to get over that.
Wait a second. Scarface wasn't really killing all those people and taking coke? Maybe
it was all flour. All flour. He loves to bake.
Fuck this fake shit. I'm not watching Scarface because he's not really fucking killing people.
Man.
Come on. Alright. If you were going to... just fucking enjoy the fucking show. It's a show.
Uh-huh. That's how it is. So... Oh, boy. Is it time to start plugging people?
Yeah, why not?
Well, before we go ahead and do that, hypothetically speaking, if someone wanted to follow us on social media, how would they go about doing
They would follow us at 4Life Podcast on Instagram and Twitter, and www.facebook.com/4Life Podcast. You can go like us over there, follow us, double tap, like our pictures, swipe left or right in whatever direction they do. I don't know. I've been in a relationship for 11 years, so I don't know how that shit works.
And in true reality, if somebody want to get some nifty 4Life podcast merchandise, how would they go about doing that?
That would be redbubble.com/people/4Life Podcast. They really got to find a way to like shorten that down. Get rid of the fucking people.
What's some of the nifty things you can find on that Redbubble page?
We haven't made anything really new, but we do have the one that I was wearing the other day, the NWA Saturday Night logo shirt. We have the Coliseum video shirt. We have Petty 24/7. Shout out to Xavier for wearing that shirt yesterday for the tournament.
Roll Tide.
We have the hashtag TFA mustard shirt.
Yes.
Which I only expect 8 people to buy. What else do we have? We have the Shellsworth face. We have some JR Scar shirts, which I don't see anybody but myself buying. The 4Life Award shirt. We have the the regular 4Life Podcast logo.
It's all on there. It's
all there. We have.
It's all there.
Yeah.
Now for us to start plugging people, I'll let you go first this week. Who'd you like to put over? Who'd you like to plug?
I'll put over, meanwhile, 22 pages later. Our buddy over there, the Cap. Mike the Finance Guy. Ralph the Tech. Their reoccurring guest, Ivan, Tom. So, shout out to them. I wanted to do this earlier in the week, and I wanted to have Cap open the show with you as part of the podcast Shakeup, and then I do a run-in and kick him off the show. But I kept forgetting to do it. Then I remembered today, and I'm like, oh god, it's already like 1 a.m, and we can't do this shit now.
Well, plus it's a week later, so
yeah, should have done it last week. We'll do it for the draft.
Yeah. Oh man,
I saw he commented that he wanted to be there yesterday on our picture. I was like,
I didn't realize he played. I would have gladly.
Oh yeah, he plays on Xbox.
Okay. I would have gladly had him.
But I told him, I told him there'll be more, and I said whenever I do the one here, he's definitely invited. But
yeah, of course,
you're definitely invited next time, Cap. Sorry.
Of course.
I'm putting the heat on Cheyenne.
I didn't know he played. I genuinely didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know he played.
Well, now we know.
And I'm even willing to say, Cap, to extend my apologies. Well, I would love to be your tag team partner if we do the next one and there's a tag tournament. I'd love for that. Just saying.
Were you not happy with your tag partner yesterday?
No, not at all. I'm just saying that
not at all. You were.
No, not that. What a fucking twister you are! Oh my god!
Our team of The Rock and Dude Love. We had potential. The Rock and Love connection.
That's not what I'm saying.
We should have named them the Rock and Love connection.
What I'm saying is,
I love rock and roll.
To extend my sincerest apologies to Cap, I would love to tag team with him. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know what you're into. Okay.
Oh boy. That'll be a superstar shakeup. Raw gets the Big Show. 4Life gets the Cap. Oh man. Let me see.
That's your rip for the week? Is this fucking Big Show thing?
What happened?
I said that's your thing this week. It's the Big Show thing.
How's that a rip? Big Show's on Raw, man. What do you mean?
Yeah, he's been on Raw since the draft.
Yeah, since this past Monday.
No, since the first draft, jerk.
I don't know what you mean. What do you mean?
I hate you.
This past Monday, he got drafted after knocking out the other draftee, Kurt Hawkins. Boom.
Name a match he had on Smackdown.
The Miz.
The Miz.
He took on Miz.
The fucking Miz. All right.
He took on the Miz.
And what?
Everyone takes on. Everyone takes on the Miz.
It's fucking 2010 when they split up. Show Miz.
What happened?
In fucking 2010 when Show Miz split.
No, this was actually a singles matchup. The resurgence of Show Miz. It was great. It was spellbinding. He took on Cena.
Okay.
His match with Cena is the reason why I haven't seen Morrow since. It was that good. He was like, Mamma Mia, I can't come back again. He went back to making pizza. So he went back to making pizza in Canada. I don't know. Yeah. I'd like to put over WCW Worldwide, okay?
Oh, now you're going to steal my friends too?
Well, you didn't do it, so I'm going to fucking do it. So let's put them over. I'm going to put over John Harder on the Hardway HQ. I'm going to put over Kylie and V, my social media bae. Kylie and V, and they've got an interview coming up this week with one of their buddies who's an upcoming rapper. He's very, very talented. Go check that out.
I'm going to put over Ace Pro Wrestling. If you want to check out the best indie wrestling in the tri-state area, 67 Hathaway. Next show is May 3rd. Next show is May 13th. No matches have been announced yet.
67 Hathaway Street, Wallington, New Jersey.
There you go.
Good. There you go.
There we go. Since you want to steal my friends.
Just announced Anthony Ramirez versus the Black Diamond. Go ahead.
All right. Just announced Anthony Ramirez versus the Black Diamond.
There you go. Yeah. There it is. And, of course, Kayfabe Design Kingdom for all your needs. For all your needs. Logos,
all
graphics,
my needs?
Suspenders. What happened?
All my needs?
All your needs.
Even those needs?
Even those needs.
All right.
All your needs. So, what you need to know is that when you're listening to your podcast, you're listening to it for
well, it's the big show!
I gas hop when I hit my 6-foot pedal. I rock and got fans from ghetto to heavy metal. I took it to the next level. Guard-gated estates and marble floors with a slight bevel. Hey yo, I hit the freeways to keep my guns toning. Get high, start zoning, get paranoid and leave my pits roaming. Then gently slide into the seat of my Bentley. Hit the town and if you hate, then you're jealous evidently. I fall platinum for the millennium, my ice bigger. Touch my watch and my chain and get shot at least twice near. I be the brightest star shining in the show. And everybody say ho if you love Mac one nose. And to the female fan base that consume, you gotta be willing to give up the womb to see my room. So if you're about that and in your mouth I could burst, then meet me backstage and have some rubbers in your purse. What?
Y'all know the time. Cool back, getting skriller. Y'all check the rock. She's in 2K, 9-9's behind. We hold front line, saw time to shine. We get in, when we fit in. Y'all know the time. Cool back, getting skriller. Y'all check the rock. She's in 2K, 9-9's behind. We hold front line, saw time to shine.
I go psycho. Pull a plug and make the mic blow. Show no mercy, these mere mortals can't hurt me. It's such a pity, I hit the streets and stalk the city. I be looking for trouble, you better call me if you see that fool. That's the same dude I used to chase around school and take his lunch money and laugh cause it's funny. What's happening, low? My whole crew 100 spokes. We ain't no jokes in them Chevys with hydraulics. My game is so polished cause I got the street knowledge. Flossy, never let nobody boss me. I calls the shots and I takes the whole pot. Stop, drop down, don't wanna hear sound from nobody. We a straight turn out the party. I stays to myself, I don't mess with no haters. Spend it all now, save what for later. Up to my penthouse suite in my private elevator.
When we fit in, y'all know the time. Move back, get skriller. Y'all check the rhyme. She's in 2K, 9-9's behind. We hold front line, saw time to shine. We get in, when we fit in, y'all know the time. Move back, get skriller. Y'all check the rhyme. She's in 2K, 9-9's behind. We hold front line, saw time to shine.
It's the B-double-O, so act like you know. I'm sipping on Mo on my way to the show. What's cracking? All y'all invited, so throw your hands up, act a fool and get excited. I leave you limp like biscuits when I kick it. Ghetto-rific, splendid, money's tremendous, endless. Sipping on pain mixed with Hennis, smashing in the drop top on them things down Venice. What y'all telling me? Life's in hell of me. Been doing this since rock and whistle my melody. I stay calm, blew up spots like Vietnam, and all the kids go crazy for blue like Pokemon.
We get in when we fit in, y'all know the time. Who banging, get thriller, y'all check the rhyme. G's in 2K, 9-9's behind. We hold the front line, so it's time to shine. We get in when we fit in, y'all know the time. Who banging, get thriller, y'all check the rhyme. G's in 2K, 9-9's behind. We hold the front line, so it's time to shine. Yeah.